Singapore Central Bank says the country remains on track to exceed this year's GDP growth forecast. This is despite the impact of ongoing COVID-19 restrictions on the economy. While some sectors continue to struggle, others, like the financial sector, have grown strongly. And barring setbacks to the global economy, GDP growth could exceed the forecast of 4 to 6%. Brendan Tanoto finds out more.
The Monetary Authority of Singapore notes that in the first quarter of this year, the economy had already recouped its aggregate output loss during the pandemic. But it warns that recent heightened restrictions could in the near term set back segments that make up about 8% of the economy.
The consumer-facing industries, retail trade, food and beverage, and land transport services will be most affected by the tightening measures. But the economic impact of the current restrictions will be significantly less severe than during the circuit breaker last year.
For instance, an increase in global tech demand is expected to support the manufacturing and wholesale trade sectors. The financial and infocom sectors are also set to expand as the pandemic pushes businesses to digitalize. MAS says the financial services sector grew an estimated 6% in the first half of 2021. It's also expected to create some 6,500 new jobs this year. Overall, the resident unemployment rate is expected to continue its decline, but resident wage growth could rise only slightly from the 1.4% recorded last year.
Some of the sectors that were worst affected by the COVID-19 crisis are actually quite labor intensive, and I'm referring to the F&B sectors, the tourism related sector, aviation sectors, and to some extent even the retail sector. So that's the reason why the recovery in the labor market has been, rather weak. And because of that, we do expect that the slack in the labor market will continue, and henceforth wage growth will remain benign.
Looking ahead, MAS says this year will be a contest between the virus and the vaccine.
The faster we can vaccinate people, the faster we can return to normalcy. But if the virus continues to mutate at a faster rate with new variants that are more infectious, that are probably vaccine resistant, then we'll have a deterioration in economic conditions.